Hi guys, Crimson here. I decided to do kind of a video PowerPoint combined presentation for my introduction. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, a little bit about me. I'm 25 and I live in Evansville, Indiana. I live with my husband of about 2.5 years. We also have a zoo full of animals who I would love to be able to introduce to you here in just a moment. My favorite hobbies are crocheting and knitting. I like to crochet and knit for charity. I used to run my own Etsy shop and it didn't take off so well, so now I just do it for the joy of it. We had a miscarriage back in July, and so now I like to crochet and knit baby hats and baby blankets for the hospital. And I also really like to crochet and knit lap blankets for hospice. I've worked in long-term care for a really long time, so making things for hospice just helps to make my heart full. I also love to read. I always have something with me that I'm reading, either an actual physical book or my Kindle. I bought myself a new one for Christmas last year, so we'll see how long this one lasts. My last one lasted me like 5 or 6 years. It lasted a while. My favorite genres are historical fiction and really anything considered young adult. I really like all of the dystopian novels that people are writing nowadays. It's one of my favorite things to read. I also like to play video games and tabletop games. My husband and I, we play Dungeons and Dragons on the weekend with our brothers. And we have a few other tabletops that we're trying to learn how to play. But so far Dungeons and Dragons is our favorite. Alright. On to the animals. Give me just a second. I'm going to go grab someone because I would love for you guys to see them on screen. Alright guys, the program I'm using for this recording won't let me switch back and forth between my webcam being full screen and just small. So unfortunately we'll just have a little look at everybody. This is Gimli. He's my puppy. I call him a puppy, but he's almost 2.5 years old. I just love him. He goes everywhere with me that I can possibly take him. He loves being in the car. He just likes to be around people. He hasn't met a stranger, human or dog, so that's good, I suppose. Alright, give me a second. I'm going to go find somebody else. Alright, guys, this is Chewy. We actually rescued her from Harps, a pet store I used to work at. They closed down and they didn't have anywhere for the store animals to go, so we brought her home. She is missing an ear, sort of. She was found as a stray by my old boss, and he believes she probably got into a fight with a raccoon. There she goes. The only problem she has with it is that it's just crumpled over. It doesn't really hurt her. She can hear just fine. She's actually our only cat that answers to her name, and as you can see, she loves to be loved on. Oh, better be careful. She's probably going to walk over my screen. Alright, guys, let me go find somebody else. Alright, this is my new kitten, Max. He is about 12 weeks old right now. We got him when he was like 4 or 5 weeks old. Usually he would want to do nothing but sit with me, but today he's too busy for me. He's usually my shadow. He follows me everywhere I go. If I leave the living room, he follows me. If I come back to the living room, he's right back in the living room. But he's my little baby right now. Like I said, he came to us when he was about 4 or 5 weeks old. My best friend's dog actually found him and tried to rescue him, but they needed not a dog to be raising them. We got him and we got his sister, and his sister actually lives with my parents now with my little brother. Alrighty, let me go see who else I can find. Alright guys, I know it's kind of a small video, but I want to introduce you to one of the most interesting creatures that we own. This is Xana. She is a 30-year-old red-tailed boa. Yes, she is older than me. We have had her for about 5 or 6 years now. I don't really remember exactly when we got her. She used to be a research animal at a college. And then she got too big, and so they got in contact with the reptile rescue that we have here in Evansville. And we decided to adopt her. My husband decided that he didn't want to wait for our baby boa to grow up, so we went ahead and got a full-grown adult boa. She's pretty cool. She doesn't do a whole lot. She's pretty active today because I'm warm, and the house is really warm. Oh my! sometimes she's a little bit bigger than I'm prepared to handle. She probably weighs anywhere between 60 to 65 pounds now. When we got her, she was about 45 pounds, so she's put on a little bit of weight since we've got her. She hasn't really grown in length much, but we've been able to give her the proper food, so she's been able to put on a little bit of weight. All right, I'm going to go put her up, and I will be right back. All right, guys, that was everybody that I can actually get out and show you. We do have another cat. Her name is Crystal. She is not big on human contact. I rescued her. She was a stray. Rescued her, and she's about 8 years old, so I've had her about 7 years. She's lived with me. She's a typical cat. She likes attention on her own time, so she is off somewhere in the house, hiding and trying to stay away from the kitten. I also have Feely. He will be a year old at Christmas. I actually got him as a Christmas present, and then we got a brother for him as well, who I named Keely, of course. But Keely didn't make it. He got sick just a few weeks ago, actually, and died. It was probably some sort of upper respiratory thing. Rats are really susceptible to that. There's also Shelob, our rose-hair tarantula. I don't handle her, period. My husband has handled her very small amount. The reason I don't handle her is because I don't know if I'm allergic to bees. If I'm allergic to bees, more than likely I will be allergic to her bite as well. So I just prefer to leave her in her cage. She was hiding in her little cave though, or else I would have shown her to you guys. And then outside we have a flock of chickens. We have 4 of them. We just got them this year. They're all Rhode Island Reds. They're so cute and they're so funny. But since it's cold outside, I'm not going to take my laptop out there and try to show them to you. Alright, that's the zoo of animals that I live with. I know it's quite a lot, but we like it and we think it's fun, so we just seem to keep getting more. Alright, my job history. In high school, I actually worked in 2 libraries. I worked at the school library and the public library. At the public library, I was just a page. I didn't have very many responsibilities. I just shelved books and helped patrons and stuff like that. But at the school library, I actually worked with our librarian. The year that I got to work in the library, we were actually moving rooms and switching to a new system. So I got to help our librarian reshelve everything, restock everything, cover books, put them in the system, all kinds of stuff. And I really loved it. It was a really eye-opening experience, and it's really what made me want to be a librarian, seeing what all goes into it behind the scenes. And then, after I graduated, I went to USI, while I was there, I worked in long-term care. My aunt is a nurse, and so she got me a job at a nursing home in my hometown. I was not certified when I worked in long-term care that time. I didn't do any kind of patient care. I was just kind of there to talk to people and help out. So when I couldn't do that anymore, it seems to be that I can only work in long-term care for a couple of years before I start to get a little sad and a little burnt out. I actually worked at an exotic pet store, and that was just one of the best experiences of my life. I got to do all kinds of things there. I got to interact with so many interesting animals. Because of that place, I have interacted with multiple large birds. We had a customer who has a monkey and a kinkajou. I love both of them, but I love the kinkajou more. The monkey was a little mischievous. I've interacted with all kinds of reptiles, all kinds of small animals, and by the time I left there, I was actually the manager of our bird department, which is interesting because before I worked at the pet store, I didn't like birds. I didn't know anything about them, and now I really miss being around them. It's been 2 years since we closed, and I just keep wanting to get a bird, even though I know that my house is not the place for one. After they closed, I went back into long-term care with the same company. I actually got my CNA certification this time, and when I hit the required hours, I got my QMA certification. So in a long-term care facility or a home care facility, I am actually certified to handle and pass medications, which you cannot do as a CNA in Indiana. I couldn't go into a hospital, though, as a QMA. They really only use nurses. But I could go into a hospital as a CNA. And now that I'm a little burnt out and ready to move on from long-term care again, I just got a new job at a youth and maternity house right down the street from my house. I have not started yet. I just got hired on a few days ago. So I'm really excited for this new opportunity and see where it takes me. My dream job is definitely to work in a library. That's why I'm getting my library science degree. I just haven't decided yet whether or not I want to be in a school library or in a public library. Alright, my educational background. This is actually my second bachelor's degree. My first one, I told you guys before that I went to USI, is actually in English with an emphasis in rhetoric and writing. That degree, I almost wish that I had waited to go back to school. I changed my major a lot, and then for 2 years I couldn't find a job that involved my new degree. So decided to come to Ashford and get another degree. This degree is library science and media, and I am so excited, and it just feels like the right thing for me to be doing. So I just really like the decision that I've made for myself this time. About Ashford, I just really like going to school online rather than my in-person degree. It just fits my personality a little better. I'm much better doing things kind of on my own and interacting when I need to. I just didn't like the class sizes at USI. There was just too many people. I didn't get the personal feel that you can get with an online university. My hope to gain. In this class, I really hope that they're going to help me to become a successful librarian for my community. Other than that, I just hope to gain all of the knowledge that I possibly can in my time here. I only have a year to go, thanks to all of my transfer credits. So I just really want to gain all the knowledge that I possibly can while I'm here. Why libraries? This is a fun one because my house is practically a library. I have so many books. I've always just loved the atmosphere of libraries. It's always just like kind of a sacred place. You can go to the library and you can sit and you can be in the quiet and you can just kind of be with others who are enjoying literature like you are. I also want to instill in others a love of reading and learning. This really comes from my family. My mom used to like to read, but my dad hasn't picked up a book since high school. And I just think that's really sad because I love to read so much, and I don't see how someone can not read unless they are forced to. So I want to help my community learn how to have a love of reading and to continue passing that on through the generations. I also just love being surrounded by books. I have so many books upstairs in our bedroom that they don't even all fit on my bookshelf. And I also have my Kindle, which I have a lot of books on as well. I really like the Kindle just because it's helping me cut down on the space needed in my house for books for me to read. So yeah, that's why I would love to be in a library. And that's it, guys. That's it for my introduction. I can't wait to get to know all of you, and I'll see you later.